Hey guys, Puppy's World here, and today I'm doing a little bit of a different mod setup, and I wanted to show you guys my collection. Also show you the female's collection she is using on a regular basis. Hun, how do you like the Target Pro 75 watt
It's amazing.
temperature controlled mod? Yeah, I think it's amazing.
Yes.
You're operating at about 30 watts here with a Cubist, not a Cubist Pro tank, but a Cubist tank with a, I believe that is a 30 watt coil in there. I have to take a look, but yeah, operating this guy with no problem. I got a gel skin on him. He is very nice for dropping him. Any problems? This guy has lasted with cement drops and whatnot. However, will shatter the glass. That's why make sure you've got an extra case for your tanks, guys, and keep your mouthpieces clean. Also, a small tip or trick is, I'm going to bring you into my office here for a second, and I'm going to show you my little changing table I've got right here. Got a coil changing table with some items on it here. Got a couple of different batteries. However, I'm going to go over something really quick. I'm going to go over the fact that these ecigarettes cannot take protected batteries. When we are talking about 18650s, and by the way, when you are charging, use 1 amp or less. I have tried or attempted to charge my ecigarettes or my 18650 batteries with a fast charge Samsung charging device. Not good. Using the USB 2.0 is just fine. However, using a fast charge is going to charge these things with more than 2 amps, and you are going to burn them out that way. That is why, unfortunately, you have to use, I recommend either Samsung, LG, or even some of the F-set batteries. And I also recommend, I've got 2 different batteries here, but I also recommend the 3.7 18650s at 3000 milliamps versus the 2500 milliamps. They have a different draw, and putting these guys together can screw your e-cigarette up, but I will also show you the difference between 2 18650s really quickly. Okay, we've got an LG 18650 right here. As you can see, the positive contact button is well thought out and not protruding in any way, and not, well, not fucked up at all. If you take a look at this yellow battery right here, this yellow 18650, you can see that the positive cap right there is pushed down further than necessary. So this creates problems when going into some of the devices in terms of making a contact with that actual positive node right there. So, unfortunately, I've had to do things such as this. As you can see here, I've got another yellow battery, an 18650, one I do not recommend. And I've got my case off of my mod here. But here's the positive contact for the battery. It is right there, and on a spring, fortunately. I would recommend every now and then taking that spring if you have batteries like this. They're not dead yet, but once they start to peel away here, your problem and issue of possibly blowing up or shorting or causing a fire or heating up in your pocket are very, very plausible at this point. So once you get to here, I would recommend possibly throwing the batteries away, if not only using them inside, never holding these in your pocket, but also I do recommend, to get some home use out of these guys, at least inside, I do recommend taking a screwdriver and trying to lift up the spring here to that coil on that contact to make that positive contact a little easier. Okay, guys, I'd have to recommend this mod as one of my favorite. It's an Aspire NX75. It's a smart mod, temperature controlled. It'll do memory and all that. It'll do firmware upgrades. It'll take an 18650. And it will do onboard charging as well. Amazing mod, but I have to say, for indoor use, my favorite one would be the Vaporesso Tero Pro. It's one of my favorite. It matches my, bring it on in here. It matches my granite countertop in the kitchen here and whatnot. So I chose it because of that. I have some more granite in the basement that it further matches, actually. And, yeah, so I have to say that's probably my favorite, guys. Okay, moving on here. I'm going to quickly show you a little bit of my collection. And then we'll just talk about some of the new tanks and mods that I'd like. Okay, I've got the Beast here from Smok. Very popular common mod. I'm going to change him out to the supplied RBA or RDA coil that is meant for putting cotton in yourself. So we'll do that. However, I was showing you the Cubist Tank. Very, very, very good recommended tank. With the BF Clapton coil that is provided with it, I operated them at about 20 watts, effectively to produce about as much vapor as the Beast does at about 75 watts. It'll also come with a stainless steel BF coil and a stainless steel 316 at 0.5 and 1 ohm. Guys, the other one I would have to recommend is, of course, the Baby Beast. And I've got a couple of different coils for that guy. So I'm going to quickly run through those, just show you. I prefer, of course, the octuple coil. It's totally different, the V8 Baby versus the V8 Baby Q2. Totally different than the T8. So, run through those coils. Like vaporesso's C-cell ceramic coils a lot. They are really nice, and especially operating at that 0.9 ohm range there, you get about, 30 to 40 watts off of them with no power at all. Love the Baby Beast. It's one of my favorite mods. I'd have to be able to go with the V8 coil the whole time, and I also have an RBA coil for him. Works wonderfully. See if I can try to find it here. Let's see. One thing I would recommend, guys, is, here's the Baby Beast coils that I recommend using with the 4 coil inside of it and operating at about 60 to 80 watts. Okay. I'll quickly talk about cotton, syringes, making your own liquid, some more coils, different options and whatnot. Got a few recommendations from Geek Vape, some Clapton stapled coils and whatnot versus different wires. I'll run through, here's the Cubist Pro, guys, to take a look at it. It hits nowhere near the Cubist, oddly enough. And I've got a Beast coil right here, if you want to take a look at. It's obviously got the problem of many vapors are well aware of the fact that when you buy the Beast brand new with its provided installed coil, it will leak right out of the box. That is because you have to actually go in here, take this outer casing off, take the rubber seal ring out of it, and then take your little clips that are extended from the coils here. There's little pieces of metal that sit outside of this rubber ring. They need to be forced back in. Easily type in Beast coil and leaking on YouTube, and you will find several videos on how to make this repair. Alright, moving on from the Beast coil, guys. Got an old Aspired Nautilus coil here. This was a classic of the 510 connections. I've been vaping for about 8 years. I was vaping even when I used a totally wicked e-liquid vape pen with the 901 type connection and a USB cord permanently affixed to it. So we've come a long ways from that, guys. And there's just a lot of things vaping has done that I would, really recommend making the change. Of course, I've tried the Zample box. However, I don't recommend the Zample box simply because it only comes with 15 milliliter bottles as opposed to about 30 milliliter bottles. All day on the internet, you should be paying about $15 for a 30 milliliter bottle. No questions asked. For 60 mil, you should be paying maybe $25. That's right. That's my recommendations. These are my favorite of the gallery lineup I've got. I've got a few more somewhere else. Either Los Angeles or Delirium would be my favorites, and Farmer's Daughter, and of course, Fresh Prince would be one of my favorites. Yeah, this one, Penthouse Dream, is not the best. I've got a few of those. Vixen Vapors, have to say great things about them. You can mix them up yourself, add cream, add sweeteners, thousands of different flavor combinations and options, so can't go wrong with Vixen Vapors. Taffy Man, probably one of my favorite, all-time favorite, flavors out there. There's so many different kinds. However, I have to say that the berry, H2O berry, and probably the grape are my favorite. I'm going to show you here 2 different wires here. I got a Kenthal 23 gauge 10-foot wire here. That is what you're seeing here. This is probably the cheapest, crappiest wire I'd ever use. Very difficult to coil up. Versus a twisted Clapton wire, which is 26 plus 32 gauge. So it's 2 wires kind of stapled together like that. Very, very good quality. Will last for quite some time, and very nice wheel it comes with. Got two of these guys. I operate at this 28 gauge plus the 32 gauge, and I've got a 26 gauge plus 32 gauge. I prefer using the 26, but very good products right there. Also, I use the Tsunami from Geek Vape, the RDA. It is a very, very good mod for dripping on. However, it gets quite liquidy. I've got the Vaporesso Taro mod right here. Not firmware upgradable, however, with dual 18650s on board, there is no onboard charging. So it's become retired for the time being, and I'm using my Vaporesso Taro Pro. Alright, gotta look at some liquids here. Cloud 9, here's Cali Steam, Vape, here's Chubby, Taffy Man. I've got so many different ones here, I'd have to say. One of the favorites is Churros and Pebbles, guys. The Wisconsin-made Berries and Cream is wonderful. I will talk about cotton for a second. I recommend using the Japanese cotton, as it's a big, big difference or step up from the American cotton that is rolled in sheets. You can see the difference between American cotton here and Japanese cotton. I'll go ahead and open this up. This would definitely be the cotton I would recommend using. It's from Native Wicks. It's the premium Japanese cotton. And of course it comes in complete clumps like that. You can get away with using cotton balls if necessary. However, I would not recommend it, as the cotton thickness is nowhere near as thick and dense. Okay, one other tip or trick, guys, would be washing your coils out. Try or attempt to save all coils after use, as when you're in a pinch and you need to go on a vacation or something, or you need to travel or go traveling for work for a day or something, and your coil's just about on empty and you don't know what you're going to do because you're going to burn it out soon, wash them out. I've got a little mod right here I'm going to show you. It's the Guardian with the Target Mini. Obviously, I'm very hot on the Vaporesso products. This is the Target Mini with the Guardian supplied mod. Very nice setup, very light, very small. Onboard battery, of course, with onboard charging. He is smart, firmware upgradable, and yeah, very, very light, great mobile choice. However, not great in the wattage department. I'm going to recommend my Aspire NX75 mod. That's the black metal one you saw. That one is perfect. I've taken probably about 20 hits to cement with that with no problem, and that is extremely durable. All right, guys, I'm going to move on quickly here. Making your own e-liquid. I've got a few more coils I can show you. Here is a Vaporesso C-cell ceramic in a big, larger size. And then, yeah, I've got a few different coils here that I can go ahead and keep. One of the other tanks I recommended was the Atlantis Evo from Aspire. This was a very good flavoring tank with several different coil combinations with it, so I recommended that, guys. That's a very good one. Also, I'm going to show you, we're going to take a look quickly at the Hercules from Sense. Is a very good starter RBA tank, or I'm sorry, RTA tank, with quite the power to him. So I'm just going to go ahead and pop him out really quick and give you a quick peek at him before I set him up for the first time. Here's the Hercules RTA from Sense. Quite a common build style. Very traditional. Okay, does come with an extra glass piece, as most do, some tools, some extra coil wrapping and stuff and whatnot. Okay, guys, here's probably my favorite coils that I love to use in terms of building. These are a stapled coil, I believe at around 32 gauge. However, I can show you exactly where I obtain these and what they look like in their packaging. These are probably my favorite coils I recommend using while building, and they will hold the Japanese cotton with no problem and take a very long time to blacken up or burn out. I believe you can obtain those by getting this. It is the Geek Vape Staple Staggered Fused Clapton Coil, and the Kenthal A1 is 0.2 ohms. Alright, guys, I'm going to move on quickly here. I'm going to show you some stuff that I also recommend. There is a Cubist Clapton coil. There you're able to build up and turn it into an RTA. I also recommend for building the Vaporesso Transformer RDA. It's similar to the Nulu. This is the iridescent color. Some people call it rainbow. The correct terminology is iridescent. It's got a fully rebuildable deck with 10 building options. Very, very nice tank. Just going to go into it here for a second and show you what the transformer looks like. Alright, there's your transformer. Very nice, strong tank with many, many, many different build options. You can go ahead and put that staggered Clapton wire in there. Japanese cotton, vape for hours without problems. Alright guys, I told you I recommended the Target Pro starter kit. That's where her mod that I had gotten her is from. She has not used the Target Pro tank yet, so I'm going to go ahead and get that guy running soon. But I also highly, highly, highly recommend making your own e-liquid. I've got a decent Gemini tank here from Vaporesso. Not too hot on it anymore, but it does run the C-cell ceramic coils. Got a couple of different flavors of liquid here, but I really do recommend the Bam Bam's Cannoli. It is an amazing liquid, and it comes in a box with like 3 or 4 tubes like this. Very, very, very tasty. The Vape Big and high voltage liquids are extremely good as well. Vape Big. And then, you know, got some other things in here that I highly recommend, but as I said before, here's a RBA head for the Baby Beast. So you can see you can just run cotton in it like that, and it's an extremely nice tank. Alright guys, there's the box. Here's another Sense from Hercules, or I mean Hercules from Sense, so to speak. Alright, and then I got 2 things going on here. I got a older Gemini from Vaporesso. I've got another Geek Vape here, and I've got some coils that I've taken out that I am going to plan on reusing in the future. As I said before, guys, one tip or trick is to reuse your coils and rinse them out. If you take these under a faucet and just run them under really high pressure water for about 10 minutes max, you can get away with even about 2 minutes of doing this, but after running it with water, you will see the cotton start to lighten up from being so dark, and after it gets a little lighter, then you're good to go. So yes, these coils can be reused, and I would recommend actually rinsing them out and reusing them in a pinch. Okay guys, there's not much more here for me to show you. However, I do recommend making your own e-liquid. I highly, highly recommend keeping the nicotine content refrigerated and out of sunlight directly, as you do have to shake these guys up quite some bit. But when making your own liquid, one of the primary causes of flavor is going to be your flavor. That's how it's going to taste, guys. I recommend getting a kosher vegetable glycerin, or, you know, a very quality VG and a quality PG. Keep those very high in strength. Keep them out of, you know, sunlight, but keep them fresh. I'm going to show you here quickly before I end this video the tank that I'm going to be putting on her mod here in a second in a new coil. Obviously I'm going to be using the supplied coil inside of it, but here is the Target Pro tank, white in color. Go ahead and use this guy soon. From Vaporesso. You can see here. So nothing too nice, but yeah, it does look pretty with the white on white, of course, and you can get protective covers for your tanks as well at some point. Alright guys, so when making your own liquid, I do highly recommend doing your VG PG first, then putting your flavor in using a syringe like such. I recommend using the syringe because it's easiest to kind of get the stuff out of. If you're not using a syringe, I highly recommend using these long plastic droppers like this. Also, highly recommend saving your glass bottles because you can reuse the droppers in them to make your own liquid. So doing that is a good choice. And for liquid, guys, I would have to recommend using, like I said, a kosher VG-PG, using a high-strength nicotine content if you're trying to cut down from smoking cigarettes. If you are not trying to cut down from smoking cigarettes, I would use a lower 3, 6, or 12 milligram per milliliter solution. Always shake up and use a small amount last when you've put your VG-PG and flavor in. There are several different places I would recommend getting this stuff from. However, Wizard Labs is right out of Florida, and all products are FDA approved, so you won't run into any health issues or combination issues or things going bad or running out of expiration dates. There are several different options and combinations you can go with from Wizard Labs. However, they are not the only distributor for VG, PG, and flavor. Amazon is getting on the train with the flavor. However, you can already purchase, I've purchased these off of Amazon, VG and PG with no problem, for about $18 a piece, I believe. $16 and about $25 for 2 of them. So that's a decent deal. And I would recommend getting those every couple of months if you are someone that makes your own liquid. Alrighty guys, I've got a lot more to show you at some point here, but I'll wait until another video. Like I said, I'm going to go back to my little build section right here, and I'm going to get to vaping. I prefer to use some of the liquids I got out here. One of my favorite is the Emoji, as this is a very common watermelon gummy. Very, very popular, very, very common, very chosen watermelon gummy. Great flavor. Guys, would have to recommend this guy as well. Very good. However, he did come with the sample box, so you're going to have to check out this website for that exact information. I would also recommend Southern Sky Ejuice, as they can make custom batches. And I know you're looking at cinnamon britches here, but Southern Sky Ejuice will make custom batches and add cream and sweetener, just like Vixen Vapors does as well. Alright guys, that concludes this video. Vape on, please subscribe, and I'll be back with more. Thank you.